So welcome again to another locals video episode. So in my YouTube channel I will be trying to do a voiceover of all the recorded duels we have in our locals match. So if you like content like this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you want to for future videos like this. So let's start the duel. This will be a featured duel between Floowandereeze and Byssted Despia. So the Floowandereeze player won the die roll, so he will opt to go first. So Byssted Despia versus Floowandereeze. So this will be a very interesting match. So the Floowandereeze will be going first, so he's thinking of a play to go with because Floowandereeze is very susceptible to hand traps, so they can get in trouble when they get hand traps. So he'll go with the map effect. So he will chain Maxi with the map effect. So he will now proceed to banish the Robina, then extra normal summons the Floowandereeze in tree, and then he will call his chain links. Chain link 1 tree, chain link 2 Robina. Robina will be added back to the hand, and then Stree will get to extra normal summon by banishing the Maxi. Then once Robina is normal summon, he'll get to add Barrier Stature of Stormwinds. This is the Winged Beast monster that prevents you from special summoning except Winged Beast monsters. So after that, proceeds to extra normal summons the Floowandereeze and Empen and adds the Floowandereeze and Dreaming Town trap card. So it's actually a good start for the Floowandereeze player. So he proceeds to extra normal summons the Barrier Stash of Stormwinds and sets 2 and then passes turn. So this is actually a hard board to break, even if it's just that simple. Because he can't, the Byssted Despia player can't activate attack position monsters, and then he actually scoops without thinking about it, because that's actually game, because most of the monsters that the Byssted Despia player has is mostly dark or light monsters. So that's game 1. He immediately scoops. So here in game 2 they have finished side decking and shuffling. So yeah, the hard thing about the Floowandereeze matchup is if you don't have the outs, if you don't have the imperms or the board breaker cards, you're pretty much dead, because that barrier of Statue of Stormwoods will be protected by the Ryza follow up, by the Dreaming Town, and etc. It's very hard to deal with if you don't have the right board breaking cards or the monster negating effect card, because Floowandereeze and Empen will try to prevent you from activating the effects of attack position special summoned monsters, and Barrier Statue of Stormwinds will lock you in special summoning except wind monsters. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much game. So make sure you have the right side decking cards for Floowandereeze players, because as simple as their deck is, they're very hard to deal with when you don't have the outs. So in game 2, the Byssted Despia player will attempt to go first. He proceeds to activate the Frightfur Patchwork. Frightfur Patchwork. So Frightfur Patchwork will add you a Polymerization and a Edge Imp from your deck to your hand. So this actually goes through, no hand traps. So okay, he adds it to his hand. So let's see what's his first move here. So he proceeds to use Polymerization using Tragedy and the Edge Imp as material, and he will proceed to summon the Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. So Masquerade the Blazing Dragon is a recurring fusion monster. If your opponent has a extra deck monster, he will recur himself back to the graveyard when he is destroyed. So he will call his chain links, chain link 1 tragedy, chain link 2 edge imp. This will add him patchwork and a Despia monster. So he will add patchwork and allure. So and also masquerade with the blazing dragon will burn you for 600 damage for each activated effect your opponent does, or every time your opponent activates a card or effect. So he normal summons Albert and adds Branded Fusion to his hand, and then activates Branded Fusion. So he's looking at his cards that he has. So he's thinking about what to send to the graveyard. So he's gonna send the Byssted Saronir and the Albaz. So that's Albaz and a Dark Monster. So he can fusion summon into Lubellion. So he's gonna call a new Chain Link. Chain Link 1 Saronir, Chain Link 2 Lubellion. So Lubellion will get diffused, discarding for cost. And then he will use two materials from graveyard, field, or hand to return back to the deck. So oh no, it's graveyard, field, or banished, I believe. So he's gonna use the tragedy and the edge imp to make another blazing masquerade dragon. So take note that these two blazing dragons will burn the opposing player by 1,200 damage for each card or effect that is activated. So the Saronir will dump the Byssted Lubellion, and then he will activate Byssted Magnumut to his hand, banishing the Edge Imp. No, and then once the Magnumut is special summoned, he will get to add the dragon in the end phase. So he proceeds to go to the end phase and then actually adds the dragon. So he forgot to activate the Byssted. He can actually summon the Byssted Lubellion by tributing the Byssted Magnumut, but it's too late. He called the end phase, so he will get to search the dragon that Byssted Magnumut can add. So after that, he lets his opponent cuts the deck and then passes turn. So here the board is pretty simple. He has one set card and he has two Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. So he will burn the opponent for 1200 damage for each card or effect that is activated. So let's see what the Floowandereeze player has to do to deal with this pressure. The good thing about this is because Floowandereeze activates a lot of card effects, um, like a lot of chain links, a lot of card effects, so he'll get to burn a lot of life points. And if he can't pay any life points, he can't activate any cards anymore. So he will start off with the Harpy's Feather Duster, and then he will get rid of the Crossout Designator. So he will now get burned for 1200 damage. So let's see how he tries to play around the double Masquerade Dragon that is burning him for a lot of life points. So that's already 1200 life points gone. And he will now I think he's thinking about how to play around this because Floowandereeze will activate a lot of card effects, as you know. So he on initial activation he will get burned for 1200 damage more. And on the effect of the map, if he activates the effect of the map, he will burn or take another 1200 because Masquerade says you need to pay 600 for every card or effect that is activated. So that's already 3600 life points gone by activating three card or effects after the after his first move. So he will now resolve the map effect to normal summon the Rubina, and then the Rubina and the M-Pen will trigger in the field and the banished zone, so he has no choice but to activate those. So that's Chainlink 1, Robina, and Chainlink 2 M-Pen. So that's 24 more 2400 more damage. So that's already 6000 damage already. So this is the pressure that the Byssted Despia puts up with the Floowandereeze player, because he knows that he's going to activate a lot of monster effects. So he will now resolve the Robina. He will now search a level 4 or lower winged beast monster. So after that, let's see what he tries to do here. So he will now extra normal summons the M-Pen. So I believe he passes effect here in searching for the bigger winged beast monster. So he passes the effect, so he only has 2000 life points left. So he proceeds to normal summon the M-Pen, because he still has a normal summon yet. So he normal summons the M-Pen and then proceeds to use the effect. So that's already 7200 life points gone for the Floowandereeze player. So he only has 800 life points left. So let's see what he tries to do here. So he now normal summons the barrier statue of Stormus and enters the battle phase and swings into one of the masquerade dragons. So that's the masquerade gone. So that's only one masquerade left. So he's thinking of his next move. So yeah, he has 800 life points left. So if the Byssted Despia player gets to swing for the barrier statue of Stormwind, he will win the game. And then in main phase 2, he will attempt to activate the Floowandereeze and Advent Adventurer. He will banish the Robina in hand and adds this tree. So he will gain life points actually by this effect. So 800 plus 500, he will get 1300 life points in his life points. So he sets one and passes turn to the opponent. So the opponent draws face and then switch the battle positions of the Masquerade and the Lubellion. So the Floowandereeze player will immediately activate the trap card and then pay 600, and then he actually scoops. So because he actually knows that after activating the trap card he will have 700 life points left. So when the Byssted Despia player swings into the barrier statue of Stormwinds, he will definitely lose, so might as well scoop. So he will now um, they will now proceed to game 3. So they have now finished side decking and shuffling. So it is already all one for both players. So this is the game 3. Welcome to game 3. This is the final match between the Despia player and the Floowandereeze player. So they're shuffling their decks, cutting their decks. So let's see here what's going to happen. So I believe the Floowandereeze player will get to choose if he wants to go first or second. But of course, as a Floowandereeze player, you would want to go first. So they're drawing their cards in the draw phase, standby main phase. So in the main phase, the Floowandereeze player will activate the dimensional barrier. Oh no, the dimensional fissure. I'm so sorry. It's dimensional fissure, and then proceeds to activate the pot of prosperity next, banishing 6 for cost, and then he will get to dig a lot of cards. So he'll dig 6 and then adds 1 card from his deck to his hand. So let's see what he has here. He actually digs Solemn Judgment, Floowandereeze, and Eaglin, Floowandereeze, and Empen, Terraforming, Judgment, and another, and a Harpy's Feather Storm. So he adds the Empen. No, he adds the Eaglin from from the dig, and then he normal summons the Eaglin, and then the opponent ashes, and he sets two, and then passes turn. So he can't do anything if he doesn't have the map. So after the ash, he passes turn to the opponent. So let's see what the opponent do here. So he only has Eaglin in the field. That's actually pretty much an open field. So but remember, he has the dimensional fissure. So anything gets banished. Any monster gets banished. So he proceeds to normal summon the Fallen of Albas. So the opponent is thinking of a response to the normal summon, and yeah, he's thinking about it, and then he actually activates the Solemn Judgment. So he is now at 4,000 life points left. He negates the normal summon. The Byssted Despia sets 2 and then passes turn. So on the draw phase, he activates the skill drain. So the the Floowandereeze player is actually in trouble because skill drain negates all the effects of the monsters on the field. So he actually can't search from now on. So the Byssted Despia player will get burned for 1000 damage. So he now normal summons another Eaglin. Um, After normal summoning, he's thinking of a play that he can do. So he actually overlays for the Lyrilusk and Nightingale. So this will help him get to Zeus. So he will now attempt to do a battle phase and swings for 0 damage because there's good rain on the field. There's no damage. So he proceeds to overlay into Downerd and Zeus. So yeah, that's actually a good play he can do because there's nothing he can do about the Floowandereeze monsters that he has right now. So might as well go for the extra deck. So he passes turn, and then the opponent activates the Branded Theater of Despia. So he activates the effect and fuses from hand. He uses Tragedy, Druid Worm, and Byssted Lubellion in the hand, and then fuses into Despian Proskinian, I believe. Yeah, so Despian Proskinian can be fused with the Despia Light and Dark monster. So and Proskinian will swing into Zeus because Proskinian is at 3200 damage, is bigger than Zeus. So now it's an open field with a big beat stick. It's a 3200 beat stick. Zeus is dead, and I think it'll going to be a skill drain beatdown from here on out because I think the Floowandereeze player doesn't have the out right now, so he's thinking about it. He passes turn again, so the draw phase is next. So the Mr. Despia player will enter the battle phase and swings for 3200. So he has 800 life points left. Now sets 2 cards and then passes turn. So this will be his final turn if he doesn't do anything. He normal summons Aluber and then proceeds to battle phase and swings into Aluber and then gets Book of Moon. So he swings in this with his Despian Proskinian and gets Book of Moon again. So that will be another turn, another life, another turn, another chance to live, and he proceeds to go into draw phase, and then he is now thinking of in a play he can do because if those monsters swing, he loses. So yeah, he knows that he loses. He draws the Feather Duster, but it's actually too late. He can't do anything even if he uses the Feather Duster. He doesn't have any follow-up play. So that's GG. So thank you all for watching again. this locals episode. If you want more content like this, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.